that simply because he was also in another camp who he was trying to package, which is the article brand. You know, P2B doesn't need any packaging. You package people who are less of requirements. But those who are real retain their authenticity. And that is the branding. They don't have to be rebranded. They don't have to pay dearly to get the applause of men. Okay, let me continue with my comments. Reno's assignment got so difficult because you cannot rebrand an irredeemable brand. You cannot rebrand an irredeemable brand, especially when the activities of that brand is telling on our democracy, on the lives of our people, the lives of the citizens, and the reputation of the country at large. A situation where the impact of the decision of the irredeemable brand is telling on the people, relegating the country and the citizens. Another reason is because there seem to be many of them scrambling for the same position. Some of them have been drafted. You know, Tinubu has a lot of aides, some of which are now leaving. So the area is saturated, but Reno is still pushing to be drafted. So his assignment got harder. He passively dismissed the possibility of sexual harassment in his interaction with Senator Natasha in that his podcast, whom he agreeably sexualized even on set, the set of that podcast. Reno displayed the emptiness of people whose happiness come from material possession and classism by emphasizing the type of ticket he flies in. You may not have watched that podcast, but this is the summary of it. He was bragging about how he takes first class, you know, things that are mundane. There is honor even in rags. You know, the spin doctor, I'll call him a spin doctor. He was throughout the podcast giving the aura of a child who talks too much without reasoning, and the Sandra Duru, Professor Mbeke vibes. That's all I got. So that's why I say it's empty. An intimidating interviewee, somebody who was busy trying to make himself important, intimidating the people who were interviewing him, and the interviewers allowed him have his way. They were being careful with him. They were really being careful with him. So he felt like, I'm shining. People who are as toxic as him get their worth by beating down others so they can feel like they are shining. It's feeling good for a top-notch performance that further exposed the lack of values, where everything detested by Nigerians are refurbished in fancy speeches, whereas the good ones are diminished for the purpose of interest. The summary is that Nigerians have come to believe that Reno is not someone you should take seriously. They also believe that the Tinubu brand he's trying to repackage is also something or person you should not take seriously. And there are reasons for this conclusion. The pathetic fellow tried to pave way for future switch